All right, so newsletters, huh? Seems like everyone's talking about them these days.
Yeah, for sure.
Building an audience, making some cash.
Hmm.
You're specifically curious about this newsletter launch blueprint thing, right?
That's the one.
We've got all your research right here. Marketing materials, reviews from a bunch of different places. Let's see what this blueprint's all about.
Yeah, sounds good. So from what I'm seeing, this blueprint is all about creating what they're calling edge letters.
Edulators.
Okay.
What is that?
Basically, it's like instead of just blasting out sales pitches, you're sharing valuable information with your readers.
Okay.
Tips, insights, things people actually want to read, you know?
Okay.
It helps you position yourself as an expert, someone people trust.
So you build that relationship first and then
Exactly. When you do recommend something, people are more likely to listen.
smart. Okay, so this blueprint helps you create these edulators. Does it actually deliver, though?
Well, it was created by Chad Nicely and Matt Garrett. Have you heard of them?
Maybe.
They've got a pretty good track record with other digital products, so that's a good sign. The blueprint itself is a mix of a live workshop access to their special software and a lead generation tool. They call it Lead Snatcher.
Lead snatcher. That sounds intense. What is it snatching leads from?
Haha. It's not that dramatic. It's just a Chrome extension that helps you find potential subscribers.
Okay.
You know, the more people on your list, the more impact your eduletter has.
Makes sense. All right, so we've got the live workshop, the software, this lead snatcher thing.
Yeah.
What else is included?
They've also got community support and a members-only area so you
Uh-huh.
can connect with other people, get feedback.
Oh, nice.
And there's a reseller program, too.
Wait, so you can actually promote the blueprint itself?
Yeah, if you want to.
Interesting. Okay, but let's say I sign up. What am I actually learning in this thing? Like, what are the specifics?
From what I'm seeing, it's pretty comprehensive. You learn how to set up your newsletter, how to craft content. They even talk about using AI for that, which is pretty
Nice.
cool. Plus, lead generation, building a community around your newsletter, and of course, how to make money from it all.
Okay, so it covers a lot. They're making some pretty bold claims, too, about the results you can get.
Oh, yeah.
They talk about these super high engagement rates, like 50 to 60% open rates. That's got to be way above average, right?
Yeah, you're right. The industry average is usually much lower.
Wow.
And they say you can get click-through rates around 16%.
So people are actually clicking on the links and engaging with your content.
Exactly. And get this, they claim you can acquire subscribers for as little as 33 cents each.
Okay, that's impressive. If they can actually deliver on that, it would be a game changer. What's the secret?
Well, from what I can tell, it's a combination of factors. They provide a structured approach, breaking the process down into manageable steps.
Okay.
And they really emphasize creating high-quality content. That's what keeps people coming back for more.
So it's not just about blasting out emails. It's about building a relationship with your audience.
Right. Exactly.
That makes sense. So the foundation seems solid. What about the specific features and benefits that people are talking about in these reviews?
Well, everyone seems to love how easy the blueprint is to follow.
Yeah.
And the guidance is really comprehensive. They walk you through every stage so you don't feel lost or overwhelmed.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
I know a lot of online programs can be a bit overwhelming.
For sure. And they say it's designed for both beginners and more experienced marketers.
Okay, so there's something for everyone. But every program has its downsides too. What are some of the drawbacks mentioned in the reviews?
One thing that came up a few times is that it's very focused on newsletters.
Uh-huh.
So if you're looking for a program that covers all aspects of email marketing, like automation or segmentation, this might not be the best fit.
Makes sense. It's about using the right tool for the job.
Exactly. You want to make sure it aligns with your goals.
Right. Speaking of goals, another potential downside is the time commitment. This isn't a set it and forget it kind of thing. Are people mentioning that?
Oh, yeah. Several reviewers said you need to be prepared to put in the work to see results. It's a business after all. It takes effort.
Right. No magic button. But one review included a case study about a local cafe that increased their sales by 25% after being featured in a newsletter.
Wow.
That's pretty impressive. Is that typical of the kind of results people are seeing?
It's hard to say if it's typical, but it shows you the potential, you know. It can be really effective for local businesses.
That's a great point. So it's not just for online businesses. Anyone can use this. So who exactly is this blueprint best for?
Well, they seem to be targeting content creators, entrepreneurs, freelancers,
Okay.
anyone who wants to build an audience and make money online. But I'm seeing a lot of positive feedback from people who are using it for B2B marketing.
Interesting. Like connecting with local business owners.
Exactly. So it's not just for the online gurus, anyone who can provide value and build a community around their expertise.
Okay, so let's talk about the elephant in the room, the price.
Yeah, let's do it. They have a few different pricing tiers, right?
They do. They have a front-end offer at $27, a VIP member, Plus Box at $97, and then the newsletter Platinum at $997.
Okay, a pretty big range.
Mm.
What do you get at each level?
Well, the front-end offer gives you the core program,
Okay.
the 3-day live workshop, the Letterman.ai software, the Lead Snatcher extension, the members-only area, and the reseller program.
Wow, that's a lot for $27.
It is. What
Yeah.
about that VIP member Plus box? What makes that special?
You get all that, plus they send you a box of goodies.
Goodies.
Yeah, like a workbook, a t-shirt, a hat, a tumbler,
Oh, wow.
and some surprise extras.
So it's like the swag bag you get at a conference, but better.
Haha, pretty much. And then there's the platinum level for $997. What makes that one so expensive?
Well, that's where you get the royal treatment. You get everything from the other tiers, plus you get direct coaching from Chad Nicely himself.
Wow.
They offer live critiques of your newsletter, so you can get personalized feedback and really refine your strategy.
So it's like having a personal mentor in your corner.
Exactly. It's
Oh,
definitely a bigger investment.
It is. It just depends on your budget and how much support you feel like you need. But it shows that they're serious about helping people succeed.
All right, so we've got a good understanding of this newsletter launch blueprint, but are there any other programs like this out there? Maybe something with a slightly different angle?
Actually, yeah. The reviews mentioned a few alternatives.
You.
Perpetual Income Machine, Minute Pop, and Newsletter Linchpin AI.
Okay, those are some interesting names. What are the main differences between those and the newsletter launch blueprint?
Well, Perpetual Income Machine seems to be focused on building a 6-figure newsletter business with multiple income streams.
So that one's for people who are really serious about this.
Yeah, they talk about creating a valuable asset that you can eventually sell.
Okay, interesting. What about Minute Pop?
That one seems to be all about simplicity.
Like easy to use.
Exactly. They offer pre-made templates, a user-friendly interface, and they even help you choose a profitable niche.
So if the blueprint is like building your dream house, brick by brick, Minute Pop is like moving into a prefab that's already move-in ready.
Uh-huh. I like that analogy. And then there's Newsletter Linchpin AI.
AI seems to be everywhere these days. What are they using it for with newsletters?
Pretty much everything. Generating content ideas, personalizing newsletters based on reader behavior. It sounds pretty cutting edge.
Okay, so we've got the ambitious empire builder option, the quick and easy option, and the tech-savvy AI option. That's quite a range.
It is. It really highlights that there's no one-size-fits-all solution for newsletters.
Right. The best program for you will depend on your specific goals, your budget, and how much time you're willing to invest.
Exactly.
All right, so let's take a break here. We've covered a lot of ground in part 1. We'll be back in part 2 to dive deeper into the reviews and see what people are actually saying about their experience with this blueprint.
Sounds good. Welcome back. All right, so we spent part 1 talking about the newsletter launch blueprint, what's included, all that good stuff.
Right, the basics. Now let's dive deeper into those reviews and see what people are actually saying about their experience with it.
Yeah, let's get into the nitty-gritty. One review that really caught my eye was from this person who basically documented their entire journey with the blueprint.
Oh, wow. So like a case study.
Kind of. They started from scratch, setting up their very first newsletter, and walked through each step all the way to actually making money.
Okay, that's what I want to hear about. Real people using it, seeing results. What were some of the things they were excited about?
They raved about how user-friendly the platform is. They specifically mentioned the drag-and-drop editor being super easy to use.
Okay, cool.
And they were really impressed by the AI content generation tools.
AI again. So how does that actually work? Like, does it write the whole newsletter for you?
Not exactly. It's more like having a really smart assistant. They have this feature called Ghostwriter that analyzes your writing style and helps you stay on brand.
So it's like having a robot editor.
In a way.
Yeah.
And the AI can even suggest topics based on what's performing well in your niche.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That would definitely save a lot of time and effort.
Right. So this reviewer was really happy with the results. They hit those high open and click-through rates the blueprint advertises, and they kept their subscriber acquisition costs super low.
So they're seeing those results that we were talking about earlier?
They are. What's really interesting, though, is that they focused on building a local community newsletter.
Oh, smart. So like targeting businesses and people in a specific area.
Exactly. You're tapping into a niche audience, building a sense of connection, becoming a go-to source for information.
It's like hyper-local marketing, but with a newsletter.
You got it. And it
Yeah.
worked for them. They actually landed new clients through their newsletter.
That's awesome. Okay, but did they run into any problems along the way? Nothing's perfect, right?
Well, they did mention a couple of minor glitches. Like, they said the AI content generation could be a little unpredictable at times.
AI still has a lot to learn, I guess.
It does. And they had a little trouble setting up the SMTP. Yeah, it's the technical stuff for sending out emails. But they said customer support was great and helped them figure everything out.
That's good to hear, because even the best software can have its moments.
Totally. And let's be real, building a successful newsletter takes work, no matter how great the program is.
Right, you can't just sit back and watch the money roll in.
Yeah.
What are people saying about the workload in these reviews?
They all emphasize that you need to be prepared to put in the time and effort.
Okay.
It's not a get-rich-quick scheme.
Hmm.
It's a business. You have to be consistent.
Right. No magic button.
Yeah.
So what about the things that the blueprint doesn't do? Any limitations mentioned in the reviews?
Well, one thing that came up a few times is that it's very focused on newsletters. Like, that's its main thing.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for something that also covers advanced email marketing techniques like automation or segmentation, it might not be the right fit.
Right. It's back to the right tool for the job thing.
Yeah.
You wouldn't use a hammer to screw in a light bulb.
Exactly. You got to make sure it aligns with what you're trying to do. Okay, so moving on to another review. This one talked a lot about the why behind the blueprint, like why they thought it was worth the investment.
Okay, so beyond the features and benefits, what made them believe in it?
Well, they were initially interested in the idea of building a profitable newsletter from scratch and attracting subscribers for a low cost.
Yeah, that's appealing. But what really stood out to them?
It was the potential to establish themselves as a local authority.
I like that. It's not just about making money, it's about building a reputation, becoming a trusted source in your community.
Right. And they were impressed by the structure of the program, the hands-on workshop, and the expertise that Chad nicely brings to the table.
So they felt like they were learning from a real pro.
They did. What about the tools and software? What did they think?
Well, that's what I'm curious about. Were they happy with the software?
Oh, yeah. They specifically loved the Letterman.ai software. They talked about how the AI features made content creation and personalization so much easier.
Did they share any specific results? Like, did they actually make money?
They did. They were hitting those high open and click-through rates, keeping their subscriber acquisition costs low, and they even started making some decent revenue from advertising and clients they got through their newsletter.
That's great. So it sounds like they're achieving those goals we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Growing their audience, engaging their readers, and monetizing their efforts.
They are, but they were also honest about the program's limitations. They mention a slight learning curve with the AI features.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's new technology.
And they said you do need some technical know-how to set up the SMTP for sending emails.
Okay, so it's not completely plug and play.
Right. But they emphasized that the customer support was really helpful and guided them through any challenges they faced.
That's good to know, because not everyone is the tech expert. To put things in perspective, this reviewer actually compared the blueprint to other newsletter programs they'd tried, like MailChimp and ConvertKit.
Oh, interesting.
Those are popular options.
boy.
What did they say about the comparison?
They said that while MailChimp and ConvertKit are great for basic email marketing, they felt like the blueprint offered a much more comprehensive approach.
I see.
It's not just about sending emails, it's about building a community and monetizing your efforts.
So it's a more holistic approach.
Exactly. They loved the hands-on workshop and having access to an expert who could give them personalized feedback.
That's a big plus.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, there are a lot of programs out there that overpromise and underdeliver.
Yeah.
So is this blueprint the real deal, or is it all hype?
Well, this reviewer was very clear that they believe it delivers on its promises. They said it's not some get-rich-quick scheme.
Okay.
It's a legitimate opportunity to grow your business.
So they felt like it was a good investment.
They did. They even said it could be a turning point for your business.
A turning point.
They felt like it not only gave them the skills to build a successful newsletter, but it also helped them become an authority in their niche.
That's powerful. And that authority can spill over into other areas of your business, too.
Yeah, exactly. In their final assessment, they said, the blueprint is worth the investment. They loved the comprehensive approach, the powerful software, and the expert guidance.
So one happy customer, but were there any other perspectives?
Yes, actually. This review also included testimonials from other users who had success with the program.
Oh, cool. So it wasn't just this one person.
Right, one person talked about how their open rate skyrocketed. Another user, who was a small business owner, was really happy with how the program helped them increase sales.
Real people, real results. That's awesome.
It is, and it shows that the blueprint can work for different types of users.
All right, so we've covered a lot in part two. We've looked at what people are saying about their experience with the blueprint, the good and the bad.
We've seen some impressive results and gotten a sense of what it takes to succeed with this program.
But there's still more to explore. We need to look at the program's design decisions
The potential areas for improvement.
and break down those pricing tiers in even more detail.
So stick around for part 3, where we'll wrap up this deep dive into the newsletter launch blueprint.
Okay, so we've made it to the final part of our deep dive into this newsletter launch blueprint. We've gone through pretty much everything at this point. The features, the benefits, potential downsides, pricing. We've even heard from people who are actually using it and seeing results. So now the big question, is this the right program for you?
Yeah, that's what it all comes down to, right? And honestly, based on everything we've seen, I think it's a really solid option, especially for certain people.
Like who?
Well, if you're brand new to this whole newsletter thing, you're starting from scratch, or maybe you've tried it before, but you're looking for a more structured approach,
Yeah, that makes sense.
this blueprint could be a great fit.
It seems like they really walk you through the entire process, which can be so helpful.
Totally. Especially for people who aren't super tech savvy. But what about the folks who already have some experience with email marketing? Is there anything in this blueprint for them?
That's a good question.
I think so. Even if you're not a complete beginner, the blueprints focus on those edgy letters. Building a local community and using AI for content could be really valuable.
Yeah, those are some pretty unique features.
They are. Imagine becoming the go-to source of information for businesses in your area.
Oh, wow. That would be huge.
Right. And the fact that they say you can acquire subscribers for so cheap, that's a game changer.
It is. Okay, so we've talked about a lot of positives, but we got to be realistic too. What are some of the things that might make someone hesitate before buying this blueprint?
Well, one thing is that it's very specific to newsletters,
Uh-huh.
which is fine if that's your main focus.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're looking for a program that covers all aspects of email marketing, like automation or segmentation,
Mm-hmm.
you might need to look elsewhere.
Right. It's about choosing the right tool for the job.
Exactly. And another thing to keep in mind is the time commitment.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Even with all the tools and guidance this blueprint provides, you still have to put in the work.
No magic button.
Nope. It's a business. It takes effort and consistency.
Right, consistency. Okay, let's talk about those other programs again.
Yeah.
We briefly touched on Perpetual Income Machine, Minute Pop, and Newsletter Linchpin AI.
Right. Those were the alternatives.
How do they compare to the blueprint?
Well, if you're really serious about building a massive newsletter business and potentially selling it down the line, then that perpetual income machine might be a good option.
Okay, so that's for the ambitious folks.
Yeah. What about Minute Pop? That one seems to be perfect for people who want to keep things simple.
Easy to use pre-made templates.
Exactly. And they even help you choose a profitable niche, so it takes a lot of the guesswork out of it.
Makes sense. And then there's Newsletter Linchpin AI. That one's all about the tech, right?
Yeah, they use AI for just about everything. Content ideas, personalization. It could be a real time saver if you're comfortable with technology.
All right, so lots of different options out there.
There are.
Ultimately, it really depends on your individual goals, your budget, and your comfort level with tech.
Couldn't agree more. There's no one best program. It's about finding the one that's best for you. Okay, let's circle back to the newsletter launch blueprint for a sec. One of the reviewers mentioned how much they loved the platform's design.
Oh, yeah. What do they say?
They thought it was super user-friendly, especially the drag-and-drop editor.
That's always a plus.
And they really liked the ghostwriter feature, which helps you maintain a consistent voice across all your newsletters.
Oh, that's cool.
Plus, they included some fun viral elements, like trivia questions and tips of the day.
So they're making it engaging for readers.
Exactly. They're thinking about all the details. But even with all that, were there any areas for improvement mentioned in the reviews?
Good question. I'm curious about that too.
Well, one reviewer pointed out that the light version of the Letterman.ai software limits you to 3 publications.
Oh, I see.
So if you're managing a bunch of different newsletters, that could be a problem.
Yeah, if you're building a newsletter empire, that wouldn't really work.
Right. And they also thought the analytics dashboard could be a bit more robust.
Some more data.
Yeah, more in-depth insights that could help users fine-tune their strategies.
Okay, that's fair. All right, last but not least, let's break down those pricing tiers one more time.
Okay, so just to recap. There's the front-end offer for $27, the VIP member plus box for $97, and the newsletter platinum for $997.
A big range of options.
Yeah.
What do you get at each level?
With the front-end offer, you get the core program,
Hmm?
the live workshop, the software, the lead generation tool, the
Hmm.
members-only area, and the reseller program.
Wow, that's a lot for under $30.
It is.
Yeah.
What about the VIP package?
What makes that one special?
You get all that, plus a box of cool swag,
The swag is always fun.
and a more detailed workbook that really walks you through the process step by step.
Okay, so more support and guidance.
Exactly. And then with the platinum level, you get everything from the other tiers, plus direct access to Chad nicely.
Wow, so you're basically getting personalized coaching.
Pretty much. They do live critiques of your newsletter, so you can get really specific feedback.
That's awesome. But definitely a bigger investment.
It is. It really comes down to your budget and how much support you feel like you need.
Right. All right, so we've covered a ton of information about this newsletter launch blueprint. What's the final verdict? Is it worth it?
I think it's a great program, especially if you're new to email marketing or you just want a more structured approach.
Yeah, it seems like they've really thought of everything.
They have. And even if you're more experienced, the focus on eduletters, local communities, and AI could be really valuable.
I agree. So what do you say? Are you ready to start building your own newsletter empire?
Haha. Maybe not an empire, but a thriving community of engaged readers. Definitely. And that wraps up our deep dive into the newsletter launch blueprint. We hope this has given you a better understanding of what it's all about and whether it's right for you.
As always, we encourage you to do your own research and make the decision that's best for you. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.